folks, it's me Rena from Snarex Crochet, and in today's video I plan on crocheting a top that I will use in my engagement photos for my upcoming wedding. So this video is kind of a continuation of me making items for my wedding, essentially. Because I have turned crochet into my personality, as well as being engaged my entire personality, I want to incorporate both those together and release a couple of videos here and there documenting the process of how I go about that. So today's video will be focused more on me making a top that I want to wear in engagement photos. I had filmed some segments prior, but I didn't actually have a proper intro for everything, so this is what I'm filming now, just to kind of highlight what my plan is. When thinking about my wedding and stuff, I was inspired to crochet my own clothing for said wedding. I want to make a wedding top, a crochet cheapao, we'll see how that works. And I also wanted to make an engagement top. And the pattern that I chose for my engagement top is the Scarlet Top by Imagia. And this creator is also the person who inspired me to even consider this in the first place, because most crochet wedding dresses are kind of not my vibe, but what she did for her own wedding is my vibe. So to kind of kick off things, I wanted to make the pattern that she ended up releasing based off of her wedding top. Hopefully I can now segue back into what I had filmed in making it and all that, because this intro was filmed way after I started, but now I want to kind of go back in time and walk you through my starting point essentially. The specific pattern Imagia has is her Scarlet Top. She basically took the top she made for a wedding and then modified it into a made-to-measure pattern. Not all of her patterns, but most of her patterns come with like a gauge calculator. So you basically make a swatch, measure your gauge, and then you input the numbers into an Excel document and it calculates stitches for you, which I've never used before. Also, I've actually never made her patterns before. So a while back, I bought these cones of both hobby cotton and glitter thread because I wanted to crochet like a chainmail dress. I never did do it, but I think for the first step, because I do want to try out that pattern, I'm going to basically make that top with these two. In the original post that Imagia described, she used like a bamboo silk thread plus 2 strands of glitter thread, which that's like 3 strands going on at a time, which to me sounds like a lot, but it did look really pretty. I have a feeling that glitter thread would be incredibly itchy. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make the top, wear it, and see how like working with glitter thread is. And if like it's incredibly itchy, I will ditch that idea. If it's not as itchy as I thought, then maybe I'll be using glitter thread. I have like 3 cones of this silver, and I think Hobby has gold too, which is kind of more my aesthetic. So yeah. Ooh, the sun is in a very awkward spot right now, but I don't care. I just made the gauge swatch for the Scarlet Top. It's very interesting. This is what it looks like. Sorry for the sun. I mean, I could close the blinds, but it's okay. It's kind of interesting because, one, the gauge swatch is kind of small. It's smaller than I expected. Only like 5 rows, which I guess that's kind of the point of a gauge swatch. This was also the very first time I've ever like double-stranded yarn like this for a project. And I'm a little conflicted on this glitter yarn. I feel like if this were paired with like a silk or something or a bamboo, it might feel better, but because it's with cotton, it's not like bad, but everyone says cotton is like ideal for garments, but I find cotton so fuzzy, you know? There's all these fibers just kind of like falling off of it. Oh man, the sun doesn't make it easier. I might just be a cotton hater for garments, because this cotton kind of has a similar issue that most cotton has, in my opinion, where it just like fluffs everywhere. I don't know. But regardless, I'm still gonna finish the top. I think it'll look great for like, you know, engagement photos anyway. It is still very sparkly. I'm a little conflicted on both the look, but also the texture. I guess the texture isn't as bad. It might be a sensory nightmare for a halter top, but minor details. But yeah, we'll see how this is. I'm still gonna make it. You basically make this gauge swatch and then you're supposed to measure it both unstretched and stretched, which is very interesting. And then you input that into like a calculator with your measurements to get your stitch count, which I think is very interesting. So I'm gonna go ahead and start my measurements. This is my progress. I'm like conflicted on how I feel about these sparkles actually, because okay, on camera this actually looks pretty cool, but in person it looks kind of doofy. Maybe that's why people like the glitter, because when I look up in person it just looks kind of silly. This looks way better than what I'm looking at in real life, so maybe I might do the sparkles. Who knows? Hi folks, it's been a while since I checked in with you guys, but I have connected the front and back panels of this top. I made the first strap. I'm gonna have to make the second strap, but I looked ahead in the pattern and it said that this is supposed to fit like your bust, and it's not really doing that. I'll finish making the strap. I also tried to kind of put this thing on and it was like real tight around here, which I'm gonna be honest, when I first looked at it, I kind of expected, but whatever. I'm going to make the second strap, you know, put this together. And then when I looked ahead in the pattern, it said there are a couple options. You can either, one, do more chains for the underarm area, or you can, you know, add another row of increases. And the thing is, I'm probably more likely to add another row of increases. I will say what I like about the pattern is that it has ways for you to like adjust as necessary. And so the stitch calculator has checkpoints essentially. The first checkpoint I had this much, second checkpoint I had whatever. I was able to meet whatever gauge was presented in the first and second checkpoint, but the third checkpoint, it's a little snug on me. I might have to reconsider a couple things because I think maybe I could get away with just adding extra chains here because I only have 2 chains here, which when I looked at that I was a little skeptical, but if I add 12 extra chains here, but then 12 extra chains everywhere else, it might fit. So you know what? I need to stop yapping. I just need to make the strap, try it on a little bit again. Maybe I'll adjust the chains first, and then if I don't like that fit, then I'll be like, time for me to actually add an extra row of increases. Just looking at how it's supposed to fit, I feel like I'm gonna have to add an extra row of increases, but work smarter, not harder. I'm trying to see if I can avoid working harder first, you know? That's a little update. Okay, so my friend gave me this really nice fashion mannequin here, and this is kind of what I have so far. I added the increases and it fits a lot better. I definitely fit this on my own body too, but I have adjusted the little thingy to my own measurements and it's at the place where it has to be for me to add more rows to the body. And then this is the Amazon skirt that I ended up buying that matches it better. It's not a perfect color match in my opinion, but like you can kind of see the vibe I'm going for. Worst case scenario, the thing I'm actually the most worried about is the hue of this gray matching anything I wear underneath, and that's where I'm not sure. I'm contemplating dyeing it later after I finish it, but I will leave that as like a future problem to address. But yeah, this is my progress. I'm going to add upon the body and yeah. Okay, so I'm trying this on right now just to kind of visualize my progress, and it fits quite nicely. I'm really happy about how it's looking, and you know, it's gonna take me a while for it to kind of like get a lot longer because this is, you know, very cropped right now. But I really like how this is looking. In camera, this looks so good, but in person, it looks a little doofy, so I'm not sure. But the remaining rows are fairly easy to do. It's just a bunch of repeating rows over and over. The interesting part is that this is done not in the round, but like back and forth. You kind of have to flip it over and over again. So that's interesting. But overall, it's like taking shape and it looks very beautiful. I kind of like how it's turning out so far. It's gonna take me a while for it to actually be at the length I want. It got a lot easier once I actually got the proper amount of increases. So overall, in terms of like the construction, the hard part is definitely getting the right dimensions for the increases, but once you connect everything together, it's very simple and straightforward after that. I will say the calculator is correct. It's just that however I did my gauge swatch was probably not accurate, which is why I had to add an extra couple of rows of increases. But overall, I think it looks good. Minus my mistake with the gauge, I think it's pretty well written. This document has like 90 plus pages in it with pictures and everything. So it's very well written. It has parts where like, oh, if your gauge is a little short, do this. If this, do this. And that part is really cool. And I don't think a lot of patterns have something like that. I do think the pattern itself is a little bit intimidating because it's like 90 plus pages, but I think it's beneficial for someone who is newer to making garments because it'll have checkpoints where you can kind of check where you are and be like, oh yeah, this is wrong. I need to fix it somehow here. I'm gonna continue working on this. I'm actually debating on whether I want to dye it. We'll check in later if that ends up being the case. Little update on the shirt. It's still really short. It is too cropped for my personal liking as of right now, but it's coming along really nicely. Okay, so I will say in the pattern, there's a portion where you can choose whether you want to keep it like loose like this, or if you want to put an elastic in to kind of cinch it in. I might put in the elastic, but we'll see how it is, but I definitely need this to be longer. But yeah, this is the shirt so far. I'm pretty excited by how it's turning out. Right now, I'm actually at a very boring part of making this where it's just kind of back and forth, like all the way until it's the length I want it to be. And I don't think there's a border, but at some point I will have to buy a button to kind of like install here and then buy some elastic thread, but it's looking good. I think I showed you that I bought this like skirt earlier. Let me see what it looks like with the skirt on. That's kind of cute. That's pretty cute, I'm not gonna lie. That's, huh. Okay. Okay, I like that. That's kind of cute. But yeah, I'll keep working on this. It's turning out quite nicely. Like after my initial paranoia of it not working, I'm starting to see that it's looking really cute. If I had more self-confidence, I probably could stop here, but no, I'm not doing it. I don't really like wearing crop tops, but I do want it to be a little longer, and yeah, I will continue working on this. It's going smoothly. It's just taking forever, that's all. Now, on the other hand, the glitter thread is slightly itchy. I mean, I don't notice it too much because I'm wearing a sports bra right here, but like some parts where it does touch my skin, I can feel it kind of being a little itchy, which means no glitter in my actual wedding dress. And doing this whole double-stranded glitter thing using cones, it's kind of a pain. I originally bought this to make crochet chainmail, and then I never did, so maybe I will someday, but that day is not this year. Yeah, that's my progress. Just wanted to show off the progress. I'm almost done, so I'm really excited.
Entspann dich. Komm, das wird schon. Los. Komm. Tiere? Passt es, so passt. Auch so eine Sache mit Leben.
Okay, so here's my progress so far. It's like at my belly button right now, so it's a little short for my liking personally, but it's definitely getting closer to like the length I want. I think if I do one more repeat, which is basically 2 rows, then I think it'll be at a good length. And I know that I'm definitely gonna need to get the elastic anyway, because I mean, this is cute and all, but I think it would look better cinched in. So let me go finish this, and I definitely need to go to the store and get some elastic and a button. Take a look at the finished top. It is very pretty. Funny enough, actually, I was talking to my sister while I was working on this. I tried it on for her. She's like, oh, this looks really good. I told her originally I was going to get an elastic to cinch this in, but after talking on the phone with her, she convinced me not to. I kind of showed her like the look, you know, with the skirt and the top. She did say that the skirt sparkles and the top sparkles don't match, so I took her advice. I decided that I'm better off just getting a plain black tulle skirt instead, so I just ordered that. But the thing that convinced me to ditch the elastic band was that I can just do this and I get the same effect right here. So, you know, this is the effect I wanted with like having this shirt, with having like this shirt tucked in. And then that actually allows for a little bit more versatility, because this is the look I wanted with like it being more cinched in like this. But then if I were to pair this with anything else, like I paired this with jeans with the top looser like this, it like looks better if I were to wear this with pants or anything else. So yeah, that's it. I'm really happy. I weaved in all the ends with the exception of this one right here. I still need to get a button and sew this in, but I finished my engagement top. Earlier in the video, I discussed thinking of dyeing it. I'm not gonna do that because I'm actually pretty satisfied with how it turned out, and especially if I change this skirt, I am not dyeing it. Overall, the pattern was fine. It's still repeat. It got a little bit boring for a while, but you know, whatever. I definitely need to get a new bra for this, because this strapless bra I have on right now is not it. So I'm gonna have to find an alternative for that. But overall, it's really pretty. Again, I still need a button for the back, because it's being held together by a stitch marker right now, which that one's easy to do. I will say I did not actually use up the cone of yarn. I still have quite a bit of it. I will say I am never working with double stranding cone yarns ever again. I never want to work with sparkle yarn ever again. It looks beautiful. This is gorgeous, but it's a little itchy. And also double stranding that was kind of a pain. So I'm not doing that again. I think I have some friends coming over tomorrow, so maybe I'll take some like glamour shots of me wearing this top and modeling it for you guys, probably with like some jeans. But yeah, I'm really excited that this is done. I wasn't expecting to finish it this week, especially since I had a video idea kind of fall through, so I'm very happy it's done this week. I will end this video here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!